typically our problems begin with either a direction, a decision, or a discipline. It's one of those three things. So if you ask yourself, what if I'm experiencing a problem right now? What am I clear on my direction?
Hmm.
Do I know what my next best decision is,
Yeah.
or do I have to get more disciplined? The three Ds.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to my show. My name is Tiffany. This is Unveiling Journeys. I have an amazing guest for you today. Let me just tell you a quick second about me. I I love people. I love talking to people. I love hearing their story. I love being encouraged, like in a breath of encouragement for them so that I can hear them out. But you know what ends up happening is I'm like, hey, I know people you need to know. And do you know anybody that I need to know? You can just ask, believe it or not. I'm giving you permission to ask people, hey, can you introduce me to someone you think I need to know? And on and on and on. And the cool part is once you meet so many darn cool people, you can no longer be silent about it. You eventually start a podcast like this and you're like, please, can I tell the world about everybody that I've met because I want you to know them so darn bad. And that's where we're at today. So, through the power of networking is exactly how I met our guest today. And I totally forget who it is, but that's okay because we've been friends long enough now that it doesn't matter. And I am so excited to bring Bridget on. Thank you so much for coming. And I love your time that you're spending with me today. Do me a favor, tell everybody a little bit about you and what you're up to right now.
That's a great question, and that's a loaded question. With all the things going on, since I wear so many hats, wife, mom, three savages, three boys, one just got his permit, as well as the founder of Bridge to Freedom Coaching and co-owner of the Axiom Group with the prop method, and all the things, all the the multiple hats. We're going to dive into that.
Yes, yes. I want to hear more about it. I know, in particular, some of your coaching work I'm a huge fan of, and you have a couple of Facebook groups and some really neat things. And I love your heart. Like, whenever we first met, we had the ability to jump on a call, and you said quite a few things that I was like, I'm going to be friends with this girl for a really long time. And it was one of these things where it wasn't just like, so what are you all about today? It was like, how has Jesus changed your life today? Or like, what do you need me to pray for you about? And I was like, dang, girl's getting serious real quick. Like, we just don't hide nothing because we are all deeply flawed, but we are all empowered by the greatest God, the only God. And I love how you just see this vision for people that you are able to provide through your coaching and through all these things that you've been gifted and the time and the place for everything that has been taught to you that you get to translate to other people, and I love it so much. So tell me a smidge more about like the company that you're running and the coaching that you're doing because it's so darn cool.
Well, in my specific company, I have two legs. I I love how you did message. Sorry, message the faith message. I want to carry the message. Apparently, mention the faith aspect. A lot of the people I end up working with will call God as their employer, and so I do have a Facebook community for that, and then I have the Bridge to Freedom coaching community for entrepreneurs and leaders. I'm very passionate about equipping people to understand their level of leadership, whether it's in their businesses, their small businesses, their companies, or even just their lives. I'm very focused on making sure everyone's in the lane of action. So whether it's the mindset, skill set, and scale set for business growth, or it's focused on the systems, the delegation, whatever it is, growth is the name of the game. And so I love to meet people where they're at. Like you said, Tiff, I actually had a cold call once and you're reminding me of this story. I'm going to share it with you. I had a cold call and they were like, hey, like probably many of you got from this is Google My Business. Your Google My Business needs to be verified. And I said, oh, okay, great. Tell me a little bit more. And they said, well, it's only $300. And I said, okay, great. What company do you work for? And this gentleman said, do you want this or not? And I said, sounds like you're having a bad day. Are you having a bad day? He said, yeah, I am actually. And I said, are you in recovery? He said, yes, I am. And I said, how sober are you? And he said, 30 days. And I said, okay, do you have a sponsor? Are you working the steps? He said, yes. And I said, all right, so you're having a spiritual battle, it sounds like. He goes, yes, I am. I said, would you like me to pray with you right now? He said, yes, I do. And I'm like, we're probably on a recorded line, but I don't care. And so meeting people where they're at, but recognizing what's going on underneath the surface is part of honoring our roles and goals that we get to play in life and in business. And so that was just a fun, quick story where, it's not to get annoyed with the call, but the higher calling, being aware of that first
Hmm.
and foremost.
Yeah, it's like listening. That's reminds me of a course I took that was like listening to the voice of God, which I was like, I want an audible one. And it was like, wait, it's what's inside of me that I need to listen to. And you got to shut off the world and your other crazy thoughts to be able to even have that. And I appreciate your honing into that to even be not snappy back at that guy, right? But be like, wait a minute, we're all carrying our own journey here, depending on where we at and where we sit. And you just have to account for that and give grace to so many people, including yourself, right? And your children. Ah. So,
That's
oh
that's the
my
fun
dear,
part.
this is so fun. I wanna crack like into your journey. Can we start over from the beginning? I want to unveil it. Like, where are you from? And what did you go to school for? What do you think you're gonna be growing up? Or first jobs? Like, it's a way loaded question that's gonna take a long time to respond in. I love it.
Well, I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, actually the West Coast, and it's so beautiful out there. And then went to Florida, spent my formative years here in Florida, where I am now. Um, Went to Indiana for a time and saved a lot of lives flunking out of nursing school there. Um, Started my journey into ministry, working on my master's in Catholic theology at Notre Dame. I grew up in dinner table conversations with my family. I majored in partying and probably minored in cuddling the first year of college as well, which led me into my recovery journey. And then stepped into some journalism, where I was a legal news reporter for the five boroughs of New York City for a time. Then had three boys in my 20s, had a very interesting life at that point, and then got Zoom divorced during COVID, met my current husband in Zoom business networking. And now I run a couple of companies. And so that was, in a nutshell, my life from that point to here.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have so much more time. So I'm going to need some of these major influential decision points. Like, did you even know, looking back at your younger self, that this is what you were going to do now? And what did you even think? Like, obviously, you wanted to be a nurse. That's why you went to school. And I love your, like, I saved lives. Like, I'm going to keep that. Being able to turn in that, like, even me, I was failing some classes. I'm like, well, I'm obviously not going to make it. My heart's not in it anymore to change my path. What were some of those things that were happening in your mind of like, well, what do I do now? Or who's going to help me influence the decision for where I go next?
I really wish I could say it was intentional, but it absolutely wasn't. I had the first major pivot was from nursing school, and I remember having a professor of English who would make us write a lot of papers on faith and culture. And she just, we had lunch one day, and she's like, "I love your perspective, and I love what you say about faith. Would you sponsor me to become Catholic?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And she goes, "You have a gift for communicating faith and communication in general." I said, "Okay, great. I guess I'll double major in that." So that's what I did. And then happened to take some business electives because I needed to finish my credit hours, and got into a national competition for business. And so that was accidental. Didn't realize it was second nature to me. And then fell into journalism because I understood journalism because I was an editor of a newspaper. Fell into the legal news reporting because I understood journalism. And I got the job because I said, "Listen, I can do anything you need me to do here. You can teach me law, and I understand the journalism aspect." So I got a lot of jobs and opportunities, and Starbucks was in the middle of that in the college arena, which all came together to show me so many aspects of business, from the corporate side of Starbucks and understanding their company culture, to the journalism aspect of understanding PR and marketing, and from the ministry aspect. I always say you want to be ministry minded, especially when you're working with people, and business and people are synonymous. I also had a senior placement agency where all I was doing was looking for salsa dancing lessons, ended up finding a business partner. Um, so, so there's a couple of phenomenal accidents, I would say, divine accidents, where I wasn't looking for anything, and kind of was on this moving sidewalk towards opportunities that I did not want to take, but did because they were in front of me.
Wow. That's so fun though. What was it like? I mean, graduating, and then what do you do after that?
Well, after graduating college, actually, I applied 2 years before I graduated from college at the Diocese of Fort Wayne South Bend because I knew I wanted to work in ministry. I was doing a lot in peer ministry, music ministry, campus ministry, and I knew I wanted to work in ministry, but I also knew I wanted a full ride to Notre Dame. So I applied, had only Starbucks and a couple restaurants on my resume, and they called me in for an interview sophomore year of college, and they go, "Wait, Bridget, "You're not graduated. You're not even graduated for 2 years." I go, "I know, but I can do anything you need me to do here, and I wanna work for you, and I want a full ride to Notre Dame." And so, they said, "Great." 6 months before I graduated college, they said, "We don't even have a job for you yet, but we would like you to hire you."
Oh,
I said, "Great." They're like, "You could get started at Notre Dame next semester." And I said, "I can't. I'm in a national business plan competition. I need to focus on that with my business partner and the pitch and all the things." And so it's very interesting how that all went together. But I did love working in ministry. I still am a part of something called the Recovery Church Movement. It's a nonprofit for addicts and alcoholics to experience the Word of God in the 12 steps. So ministry has always been an undercurrent of my life. But yeah, college after college, ministry was the first, and then yeah, then it went to more interesting
oh,
jobs.
that's so fun. And then it led, of course, like you said, you got married and you have your 3 boys in your well, in your 20s, right? What were some of the like, I don't know, highs and lows or some of the influencing things that kept going on with your circle of your journey to get you back to here?
Well, I was really, really I love being a mom. I love I loved networking with other moms. I also loved making sure that they could find communities, and they were always problem aware and solution seeking. So if I could point, when I was a stay-at-home mom, moms in the right direction for anything in their life or health or business, I was always connecting people like you, Tiff. You have the same love for connecting, and so I was always doing that. I traveled a lot. I loved Italy. I loved London. It was a very interesting time. In my first marriage, there were a lot of highs and lows, but as in any marriage, there are always highs and lows. And I don't regret that time together. We're still friends to this day, which I'm grateful for. But it was an interesting time, and I always knew inside of myself that I was going to love being a mom in my 20s, and I was going to love launching my businesses in my 30s. It was
Hmm.
a very interesting internal conversation and dialogue that I always just had going.
Yeah. Like launching your own business, did you have an idea what you knew it was gonna be? You just, "I'm
No,
gonna own
no,
something."
I actually, I had no idea, and I was extremely nervous. I remember, um, when I was going to dance lessons, I remember this gentleman, Walter, saying, "Hey, Bridget, we're gonna launch a company together." And I said, "Walter, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've been a stay-at-home mom for a decade." And he said, "Don't worry, just be you anywhere we go." And so we launched this placement agency. We started getting clients for assisted living and memory care, and and I was negotiating things on the client's terms, and I was coaching the families involved. And then at one day, he just goes, "You know what? I don't want to do this anymore. The company's yours." And I've just had some phenomenal opportunities. I had another opportunity as well, in business. I've had some great, phenomenal business partnerships, with some gentlemen over the years, where it always was very it just really worked out in my favor for me to continue to serve people with solutions. But that's one of them. No, I was just wanting to salsa dance. Okay? That's what I wanted. And, then it's like, "Oh, but what about this?" And so I was slowly introduced to how business just means helping people on a larger scale and making sure that you can do life on your terms. That's
Hmm.
really it.
I love that. That's so true because you're going a business to hopefully not be tied to woes of W-2-ness sort of a thing, right?
Yes, the W-2-ness. We need the good W-2
Oh,
people
yeah.
who we need them. We're grateful for you. But it just you have to know what's true for you,
Mhm.
right? Like
I think it's
Shakespeare.
the visionary people that need the freedom and flexibility that almost I feel like I'm trapped in a cage when I was at W-2. I'm like, I know I can do something else. I don't know what. I just know there's something bigger and greater. And I haven't figured out the vision for it yet, but I'm in. I'm in. So I can have, oh, you want to meet for coffee tomorrow? And I will cancel everything. It's not like I have to cancel my job, right? And rearrange my schedule or just the ability to be free and then know that your purpose is helping people with your widget, your thing, your software, your advice, just something that you can go make the world better with. It's just so fun. Oh my goodness. Tell me how this evolved into actual coaching with the company you have now.
Well, I did get certified in coaching in my 20s. No, early 30s. And I just knew that it was the next level of helping people. I wanted another alternative skill set other than my natural skill set. And so I started putting coaching in with my placement agency. So that became the differentiating factor. I'm going to life coach the families involved, um, and help their loved one find the right assisted living or memory care facility for them. Bridge to Freedom Coaching was just a side hustle at the time in 2019. And then my business partner, Walter, at the time said, "Let's name your company Bridget O Freedom Coaching. Put your name in it." And I said, "That's really corny. Okay, I'll do it." And so that's what it became. And then the digital world really took on a huge place in my life when I was just at home with my three children, right? We all know the story of the reinvention evolution. And uh, I just realized that I could serve so many more people with what they wanted to accomplish in life through the digital world. And
Yeah,
that's really what made this a major online coaching consulting business.
right. Oh, and this is so neat. And then your other company, what branched into starting that? Because you said you have 2 legs of what you're doing for them.
Yeah. Yes. So the Axiom Group was through another partnership with a phenomenal gentleman named Scott Barles. And we published the Prop Method book actually recently, and so he had actually created the Prop Method through hundreds of sessions with Fortune 500 companies. The Prop Method is very, very simple, but it helps to give practical solutions to companies that are having some very complex problems. And so it's that partnership originated from, just me practicing my faith, and just being present. I was actually I was he had asked me to do a speaking engagement, and he invited me out for coffee, and we talked about the prop method, and it was phenomenal. And he actually said the Holy Spirit told me to partner with you, and I said that sounds phenomenal. What you want to hear over a cup of coffee, right? And not really knowing what that looked like next. And so I'm just very, very grateful for those types of opportunities. And I know that that's not common. I don't think those are common opportunities, but I want to say that anyone who is looking for a common life, you don't have to have a
Mm-mm.
common life. You want an uncommon life? Just know that those opportunities are out there. I'm not special. Okay? I am not special. I literally am just focused on empowering any person that steps in front of me, and that's it. That's the number one goal. Opportunities will find you if you're focused in that capacity. That's what I
Mm,
would say, right? Tiff, you found
yeah.
it. That's your experience as well.
Yeah, and I think there's some gifts that are never even called out in the Bible that people are they're blessed with, and to be able to find that source of encouragement to get you to lean into those gifts and then stay in that path and purpose. And when you get disheartened, you got to surround yourself with the right people that are going to lift you up and not drag you down, which in the case of the average entrepreneur is around other entrepreneurs that get the journey, because all my W2ers are like, Tiff, just go get a job. And I remember thinking to myself, like, gosh, maybe I should just go work at Target. And I did the math, like, even if Target paid $20 an hour in California, which they don't even do that, it's like $800 a week. I'm like, if I could give someone 40 hours, there's no way I would get $800 a week for the quantity of what I could provide for someone. And so I just always was like, there's so much more that could be done versus me maybe ministering in Target, right? Like I believe that that's a thing too. It
I
just
think that's
wasn't
real.
my thing because of how I operate and how I think. And so I want to lean into those people for them, because there's so many good books I'm reading right now about that, about like we are the deliverers of the kingdom and everything it is that we're supposed to be doing, whether it be sweeping up trash or, delivering mail or working at Target or being an entrepreneur. And so it's like figure out what that is and how you can provide that. You have to read into those things too. It's so much to be able to be on this. And so I love that you're doing coaching to be able to provide real world answers for business owners, for entrepreneurs, for solopreneurs, and then for large businesses to be able to implement your strategies with the prop method, and then being able to understand and listen and let God guide you and pray for those open doors, because I do the same. But sometimes I'm like, can you be faster with the closed door or louder with the open door? I'm like, please, please. Oh my goodness, it's incredible. I want to ask you this: what you're doing right now, because we've had many a chat, and there's highs and lows, and we do it because we love it, right? But it's a lot of work that you do right now. Why do you keep going? Why do you keep showing up?
Well, my number one motivation when I really launched my coaching business was I wanted to pick up my boys from the school bus stop. I wanted to make sure that I honored my roles and goals, and I had very, very clear boundaries. I still do today. Um, but what really wakes me up in the morning, when I'm running on the treadmill in the morning or doing a fit on workout, is I'm thinking about my clients' problems and how I'm going to help them solve them. Um, it was really cool to get into business with the ministry background, because many of the people that I meet on a daily basis, they're literally saying, "These are the problems I have. What are the solutions?" Or what's the strategy? And it's just such a a really neat world where people are always in this mindset of problem aware and solution seeking. And so it's just exciting to see that people want to gift themselves a shift. They want more and better, like I talk about in Stuck on Ready in my first book. They really do. They always want more and better. And that's such an incredible place to live. When I was going through my divorce, I remember saying to someone who I was coaching for business coaching, I said, you know, if you're struggling with motivation, why don't you make your business your escape? If you're not happy with how your life is going, set your hours of operation, make that your happy place where you're literally just serving others with solutions. You're inspiring, equipping, educating, and empowering the person in front of you. And let that be a place where you don't have to bring in the wrong mental team. Right. And that's what I started out doing. And it's still to this day, it's not perfect. A lot of the companies do have bigger problems. But it's still in that space where everything really is black and white, cut and dry. Like, listen, these are the problems. Here's some solutions. Let's talk about momentum.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so cool. Just being able to know why you keep doing this is really fun and neat. But also it lets people know like, wait, I want her on my team. I want to know her more. Can I find you? Like what's your favorite way for people to reach out to you because they know they just need to have you in their life?
Uh, I truly enjoy a conversation. I've had a lot of people off LinkedIn that I've never met before hop on my calendar. Facebook, same thing. And I really enjoy a conversation because if I can give you one solution or strategy to move the needle a little bit for you, whatever it is, personal or professional, that really excites me. So yeah, please. I have a Facebook community, Bridge to Freedom coaching community, for entrepreneurs and leaders. If you want to reach out on LinkedIn, please do. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. I believe that conversations are what move the needle for growth, for both of us.
Yeah. I love that you're so available and that we can just go straight to your website that's in all the show notes below so you can go follow Bridget on all her social media, but then put yourself on on her calendar because she might be the exact same person that you need to have in your life to help you go to that next step or work through the problem you're working through right now or for your company. I can't believe this has gone so fast already. All right, I only have two more questions. What's next? Like what's on the horizon for you?
I'm serving more corporations with the prop method. It's a practical operating system for leadership, innovation, and problem solving. And I'm making sure C suite teams are actually solving the right problems. I'm making sure that everyone down to the bottom line is equipped with the same strategies. And that's really my next main thing and main focus.
Oh, that's gonna be wonderful. Oh, it's so exciting for all the people that are gonna have you as their director in all of this. All right, this is what we're gonna do. I want to ask you for your like nuggets of wisdom or your like pearls that we could end the show with.
Sure. Typically, our problems begin with either a direction, a decision, or a discipline. It's one of those three things. So if you ask yourself, what if I'm experiencing a problem right now? What am I clear on my direction? Do I know what my next best decision is, or do I have to get more disciplined? The three Ds.
Yeah. Those are tough questions to answer. I'm thinking of my own problems right now. I'm like, I gotta write that down. I'm gonna save this recording for myself and be like, all right, here's what she told me to do today. This is such good stuff. And I love your energy. I love what you bring to all of your clients and just the times that we've had together, I really want that for everyone else that gets a chance to be able to be on your calendar. Thank you for your time here today. And everybody go follow Bridget on all her social media stuff. She has phenomenal content and her books and her trainings and all of the above. I look forward to seeing everybody. And I thank everybody for watching this whole episode to the end. And I look forward to seeing you on next episodes. And in the meantime, go have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.